We've got over 500 vehicle tests on this channel, and almost all of them have headlight tests, so if you want to see how the lights on your vehicle work, this is the right place to be. Hyundai sent us their Ioniq 6 electric vehicle to drive. We already did a full road test video on this, showing the true range and driving characteristics. That's a separate video on YouTube. I'll link for that at the end of this video. But here we're doing night drive and headlight test only. I don't know if you can see with the glare, we have two main headlights in there and then 24 little ones here on each side for a total of 48. Wow. This should be interesting. So let's do it. It's dark enough. Let's check out these lights, see what they do. And I want to see what these 24 little bulbs do on each side. The yellow ones. Here's what the taillights look like. A nice wide stream, can't miss these. Here's what the emergency lights look like. Sorry for the fuzziness around the lights and the glare, but it's really humid out here. Got lightning and storm about 10 miles away. The moisture is really thick out here right now. On the mirror, easy to see from the side, not so much from the front. No, can't see it from the front. Not really. So that's what those little bulbs are for. There we go. And I say they also act as turn signals. Also on the mirror. Now let's take a look inside. Got some nice wide screens, info screen, gauge cluster screen. Here's the camera system. I see it's a little dirty from the rain we just had, so not as clear as it normally would be. And down here is the shifter for the transmission. A stick on the column that works very, very well. And on the steering wheel hub I have these little lights that light up, and I don't think they're cameras. How do you put a camera in an airbag outlet? Could be. And one thing I like, no auto dimming mirror. It's a manual mirror. Flick it manually for dark or light. That's the way I like it. Very little to go wrong and very inexpensive to replace if it breaks. Plus, if I'm driving city traffic, I do not want a blacked out mirror. It's not safe. So I like this setup. And even though the cabin lights are very, very dinky, they do a very good job of lighting up the interior. There's your climate controls. And your power windows are on the console instead of the door, as well as the door locks. I like this. Why don't they do it this way on all cars? Well, they just don't, that's all. Tradition. So now let's test the headlights. We're on a wall around 33 yards away. High beam. Go low beam. A bit higher on the right than on the left, as I would expect. Although overall a bit lower than I would like. Let's go out to a longer distance. Now we're at 400 feet, and this is important to know because if you're driving on the freeway 75 miles per hour, it takes around 170 feet to stop a car, maybe 200 at most, so you don't overdrive your headlights. So here at 400 feet, lots of room, not a problem with high beams on. Turn on low beam. Now it looks pretty dark on the camera, but I can see the very, very bottom of the edge there with my eyeball, but we can't see it on camera. Overall, the low beam is reaching out about 80% as far as good view, and the other 20% you can't see on the camera here, but it does reach out. And the good vision is at least 275 to 300 feet, so we're still covered, no problem. So let's take some dips with the low beam on this bumpy road. Didn't disappear in that little dip as much as I thought it would. I've said this before in my videos, I'm not a fan of EVs. Electric cars really have very little advantages over a gasoline car, unless you're looking for lots of extra horsepower. They're not for me. However, this particular vehicle is very impressive. If you're looking for an electric vehicle, it's certainly worth looking at. But I covered all that in my other road test video. That's really not what we're doing here. This definitely drives very, very nice. And the price is right too. So let's get on some dark, dingy streets and see what happens. Reaching out pretty good. High beam. Low beam. Well, on the low beam setting, I can actually see the fire hydrant. A lot of vehicles I've tested lately, I can't, so this is a slight improvement. That concludes our headlight test night drive. Now you want to see the real true range of this vehicle. We went to public chargers and did some driving, so here's the video. Click and watch.